Oh, g'day. Thanks for joining me on another beautiful day. Pissing down with rain outside. And I just thought I'd do a little example of different pressures of carbonation because it's important to know these things if you're going to live in a world of abundance. So this one here is where I learnt not to overcarbonate, and this could be disastrous. No, got lucky. Must have done that one right. It's starting to foam up a bit now. Here it goes. It's not too bad. Very bubbly. The longer you age it in the bottle, the better. And the beauty of these snap locks is you can shut them up again and keep going. Now this one is the most recent one, which, well, it makes a lovely little pop. I think it's the most recent one. No, that's the same one as the one before. What I'll call it the 7.7 one. This is the 8.8 one. I didn't label these ones. Yeah, see, that didn't make a very good pop at all. Undercarbonated. That one's perfect. Just a bit flat to drink. So the real reason I wanted to have this rant is because it's a topic that comes up regularly, especially here in Australia, is the economy and our politicians. They go and spend millions, if not billions of dollars on building submarines like we really need submarines. Nobody can make any sense of it. It's just jobs for the lads, really, for their buddies, the warmongering bastards. So, you know, I always like to come up with solutions for problems. And maybe that's why we got to get rid of these criminal crook politicians and put someone like me in here who's got a bit of common sense, even if I do look like an overtired moron, speaking like an overtired moron. Anyway, the best way to stimulate the economy, you know, we had a leader some years back, Gough Whitlam. He had some clue, I reckon, because he gave people the dole, so you didn't have to go out and work to get by, to make a living. I've often talked about this subject too, how we're just modern day slaves, really. Keep everything scarcity, make us have to work. You know, to get the dole these days, it's near impossible. It's not a survival amount of money. I think at the best, when I had kids living with me still, I could get about 520 or 549 was the most I got, a fortnight to try and survive. Now, when you're paying $380 a week rent, it doesn't leave much left over, does it? Oh no, it doesn't leave a damn bloody thing. What, are they trying to encourage us into crime or something? Oh, go out and get a job, you bludger. Well, you would if there were the jobs. But the reason there's no jobs is because of the scarcity. Now, if you started giving everybody a weekly bonus, $500 a week would be a reasonable place to start. Fix the prices. So the price things are today doesn't change. Okay, I know food prices and that come and go during seasonal abundance and so forth, but if we start growing so much more food in big indoor greenhouses and glass domes, well, we can grow massive amounts all year round. There's no more seasonal influences, there's no more weather disasters. And stimulate the economy by giving people money, because it's just an imaginary made up thing for push of a button on a computer anyway, or you can just print it out on paper. It's not like it's anything apart from a manufactured tool. And if you share the tools with the people, they will go and spend it and stimulate the economy All the businesses will start to thrive. There won't be any more joblessness and homelessness. If they just shared the wealth properly, give it to the people who actually need it. Now, you think a poor person on $500 a week is living in a life of luxury? They're not. Yeah, I love brewing my own beer, but I don't mind buying a good quality, naturally brewed one like Cooper's occasionally either, but it's expensive. Everything's expensive because of this scarcity and this lack of distribution of the wealth. Putting people into debt. We're all debt slaves. You can't even afford to buy a house unless you're a married couple, both working full time. And how are you meant to rear your kids when you're working full time? No, you've got to send them off to government institutions for their brainwashing, so they can grow up to be good little slaves too. It's just a ridiculous, ridiculous situation. Stimulate the economy by sharing the money equitably. And if people then want to earn more, by all means, there'll be so many more jobs, people will be screaming for assistance, and you can set your own price a bit higher then. Except we won't. It'll just be a fixed rate because, as I say, the more you increase prices, the more you're just creating scarcity. Now look at what inflation has done to money over, even if you worked it out at the last 100 years, what you could buy for a cent back then, you can't even buy for $1 today. So it's devaluing our money, which is theft. So you can't have inflation or interest. No more interest on loans. Just give the money to the people and let them spend it. And if you want to take out an extra loan, well, you pay it back over time. And maybe you will have to get a job to do that. But no interest charges, no artificial inflation devaluing the money. You know, it's just a basic tool for survival. It's not something that we should be fighting over and stealing off one another. Just give it to people. You'll solve crime. You know, why do criminals have to go and do what they do? Because of the scarcity. Because there's no other way. They think this is so unfair. Well, I'll just go and steal it. So you're creating problems, creating crimes. And then you stimulate the black markets as well. You know, look at all the money that's in things that have been outlawed, like drugs or whatever. If there's a market demand for something, then of course people are going to buy it and sell it. That's just common sense. You've got to legalise, decriminalise all drugs and let people use their own common sense, their own experience, their own wisdom to decide what's best for themselves. It's not Big Brother's place to go and tell everybody what they can and cannot have. You know, as long as you're not harming anybody, do no harm being the number one rule. You know, if you want to speed and drive like an idiot, well, you are an idiot and you deserve to bloody go and die, but don't kill anybody else. So just drive sensibly, you know. Don't charge people hundreds of dollars just because they're going a bit faster. If they're not hurting anybody, let them be. But people, use your common sense, you know. You don't want to hurt anybody. Drive the speed limits. They're there for a reason. Obey the stoplights. They're there for a reason. But if there's nothing coming, then the stoplight should just be that. Stop, look, go. They did that, I think it was somewhere in Brazil some years back, where the cops went on strike for a month or so. And so people just started driving that way, and before you knew it, all the traffic jams and that had disappeared because people just didn't have to wait for a whole block of traffic to move all at once. Then they all stopped, and then there's another lot through. You just stopped at the stoplight, wait till it's safe, and then you go. And roundabouts work well too for that. So anyway, no more of this scarcity. This is a world of abundance. This is hope. Heaven on earth party. Catch up.